change my mind, I'm going to let her die.
Hey folks, Darren here, Mr. Sandsman. Welcome back to the channel. Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry was one of my favourite films as a kid growing up. I remember seeing it on a VHS way back in the early 80s. My parents were a fan of the film and so introduced me to it at a kind of young age, maybe 10-year-old. And it was not long after seeing a movie called Assault on Precinct 13, John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13, that I saw this. And there were a lot of similarities to me in terms of tone and tension and the level of violence that's used in both these movies. But it's Clint Eastwood that steals the show in Dirty Harry. Don't get me wrong, Andrew Robinson as Scorpio is fantastic, but Clint Eastwood in this is so watchable. You just can't take your eyes off the screen when you're watching this film. Made 2 years before I was born and celebrating, 54 years this year? It's staggering how amazing this new 4K box set of Dirty Harry looks. Right from the moment where the badge comes on screen with that blue background, it just looks pin sharp. And then we cut into that opening sequence of a sniper doing the rounds in San Francisco, eyeing up victims. It looks so clean and fresh, and just like it was shot yesterday, it really is incredible how good this movie looks. I was staggered. I really was. I was watching it with my jaw dropping, and also the Atmos soundtrack that they've put together for this film really is punchy and loud and really hits you in the chest at the right moments. The dialogue is clean. It has no right looking and sounding this good. A movie, like I said, that's 54 years old. And to think that a team of people have put the time and effort into restoring this as perfectly as they have is just incredible. So, what do we get with the box set? Well, I'll show you the artwork. I'm a big fan of the artwork of this. There's Dirty Harry on the school bus there. There we go on the spine. And then inside this amazing steelbook. I love the color scheme on this. It really is fantastic. And there's the scene towards the start of the film where as he walks down the street after somebody's crashed into the fire hydrant and the streets are filling with water. And that was one of the scenes in the movie which really blew me away. I mean, it's a great sequence as it is, but there were details in there which I'd never ever noticed before. So somebody crashes into the fire hydrant, the water's going up into the air. Clint Eastwood's come out of the cafe because he knows that a bank robbery is in process, and he walks down the street through the water that's squirting up into the air. And if you look closely, you can see all the beads of water on his shoulder and back as he walks past the camera. The detail is incredible. It really does show up loads of different things I've never noticed before in this film. So directed by Don Siegel, the movie stars Clint Eastwood, Harry Guardino, Rennie Santoni, Andrew Robinson, John Vernon's in there as well, playing the mayor. And this was the first time we'd been introduced to Detective Harry Callahan, a character that I believe Frank Sinatra turned down at some stage, which would have been a different thing altogether. Released, as I said, back in 1971, its domestic gross was 44 million and a worldwide gross approximately 64 million, probably on quite a low budget way back in 1971. So it was a huge hit, a hit that spawned 4 sequels, I believe. So we had Magnum Force, The Enforcer, Sudden Impact, and The Deadpool. None of them sequels, unfortunately, quite hold up to the original Dirty Harry. There's something about the plot in this, and a lot of it has to do with the performance of Andrew Robinson as Scorpio, a real cowardly killer, picking off people in the streets, kidnapping young kids and hiding them, hijacking a school bus full of kids. He's a real cowardly character and one that just kind of wriggles out of every situation all the way through the film. Dirty Harry's assigned to go out there after him, but he's caught behind all sorts of red tape in terms of what he can and can't do to stop this guy. He's got the mayor on his back, the DA, the chief of police, and all he wants to do is pull the trigger and blow him away, but everybody's trying to stop him. The movie has some really tense sequences, particularly in the scene where Callahan's arranged a rendezvous with Scorpio, and this sequence goes on for a good 15-20 minutes of him running through the streets with a bag full of money trying to get to him and pay off Scorpio so that he'll release one of his victims who he's kidnapped. And this sequence culminates with Dirty Harry being beaten up, his partner being shot, and Scorpio being stabbed in the leg, which is a scene whereas you really feel the pain of that knife going into Andrew Robinson's leg. Another scene in this movie where the details really do shine is a moment where Scorpio pays a guy to beat him up, to make it look like Harry Callahan's beating him up. And this beating is just brutal, and probably the reason why this movie still remains an 18 today. He gets beaten to a pulp, and in previous versions of this movie, you've never really been able to see clearly enough the damage that's on his face. It's a brutal looking piece of makeup, and in this 4K Dolby Vision version, you see that shot in all its glory. It is something really gut-wrenching to look at. And I found that throughout this movie, that there are moments in there that I've never really noticed before. And that's all down to the fantastic job that Warners have done on this. It really does stand up as one of the best 4K restorations I've ever seen. So what I'll do is I'll open up the Steelbook and show you inside. Not much inside to really get excited about. I mean, there's that kind of artwork there of Scorpio with his sniper rifle. The two discs, the blue one at the back is the Blu-ray, and the one at the front there is the 4K Ultra HD. The back of the J card shows you some stills from the film. So the details on here are the 4K restoration from the original camera negative, Dolby Vision and HDR10, aspect ratio of 239:1, English mono and 5.1 DTS HD master audio. There's also a great Atmos track on here as well. An audio commentary by film historian Richard Schickel, new interviews and featurettes, archival documentaries and behind the scenes footage, a rigid slipcase, a double-sided A3 poster, Scorpio crime scene map, which I'm told isn't in here. I don't know whether they forgot to put it in or whether it was something that they decided not to go ahead with, but I can show you exactly what is in here, and there's some amazing art cards. There's that one. Shot of Clint jumping off onto the bus. Clearly looks like him doing his own stunt there. Clint and his son, Kyle Eastwood. Oh, these are reversible as well. Wow. Clint behind the camera. Clint with Don Siegel. There's a replication of Scorpio's note. And I can see that Warners have censored that last part in there. If I do not hear from you, it will be my next pleasure to kill a Catholic priest. And the actual note says, or a N-word, but they've taken that off. Profile of Scorpio. A great picture of Clint, Callahan's boss. Santoni, which is Callahan's partner. Great picture of Andrew Robinson there as Scorpio. And John Vernon as the mayor, and also the police chief there as well. So yeah, there's no sign of that victim's map. Not quite sure what happened to it. We do get the poster, which I can show you right now, and it is reversible. That's one side. And the other side, it says you don't assign him to murder cases, you just turn him loose. Well, he did get turned loose in this. The other day I showed you the restorations of A Fistful of Dollars and A Few Dollars More. This wins out big time in terms of the quality of the restoration. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Arrow have done a great job on the two Sergio Leone films there, but Don Siegel's Dirty Harry 4K, this box set, wins out as one of the finest looking 4Ks that I've ever seen. I was in my element watching this the other day. It really did make me happy, and I feel like watching this again. Can't recommend it enough. All you Dirty Harry fans out there, you are absolutely gonna be blown away by this, so snap it up while you can. Thanks again, folks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your support with the channel. If you haven't liked this video, hit the button down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, maybe consider it. I'd really appreciate that. And in the meantime, I'll be back very soon. Some more 4K goodies and possibly a live stream at some point this week. Yeah, I should definitely be doing more live streams. They seem to go quite well, and it's always good for building a community. So I shall see you on the next one. Cheers.